Well, good morning. Today is Saturday. And what a day it is. Very nice weather. Fresh air and a little bit windy once you get out in the open at least. But down here in the valley it's peaceful and calm. And a lot of wildlife poking around. Well, hi there. So for today I wanted to talk a little bit about moving away from home and how that experience was for me versus how we see it in today's society, where a lot of kids, they stick around at home much longer compared to how it was or used to be. So for me growing up, as soon as I was hitting 19 and I was starting to finish up and wrap up the base years of school, then that my main thought was actually to just get away from home as soon as possible. So in that sense, like I discussed in last vlog, it was a setback for me completely that I couldn't get into any of the educations, higher educations, in my first try. I was not even shortlisted, or maybe shortlisted in one or two of them, but in the end all the seats were taken by other students. So I missed out the chance for that. So that basically meant that the first, at least I knew that for at least 1 year I would be needing to stick around with my parents to continue to study and improve on my grades. So I needed to take an extra year. I wasn't very happy about it, but I went through it, and after finishing that extra education I could get past and get into an education, higher education, which I was quite happy about. Meant I would be moving away from home, quite far away from home actually, where this education was located. So I didn't have that presence of my parents in any fashion. Actually, I couldn't just swing by and ask for their assistance to do this and that. But for sure, for some weekends I would come by and say hello and so on. But if you then look at it from today's society, where you have school kids where you have young adults that try to get into school, but they don't manage to do it, then they sit in the same situation, where usually they will maybe just try for the next intern, next application term, which is usually a half a year apart. Well, they will be sticking around with their parents. But then you also have the opposite side of the coin, where kids who have managed to get into the higher education still decide to stick around and live at home while they're studying. And the reason for that they're doing this is usually both ways, like financial, like you save so much money and don't have to take any loans, student loans, while you're studying. So that kind of sets you on the right path quite early in life in terms of financials. But then you also have the people who have clear separation anxiety from their parents. They don't want to live away from them too much as a distance. So you end up with cases of the kids living in the same city. If they actually move away, then they will be staying in the same city or town as their parents, maybe close for the majority of their life, until they find some partner that will then take them on a joyride away from their parents, basically. And I think also a lot of parents are guilty of this as well, because they have this fear or what's it called, unwarranted fear that something will happen to their kids when they will be moving away from home, like they will become drug addicts or alcoholics or whatever. Which of course, if the kid is so mature enough to make correct decisions, should not be happening just like that. But okay, granted, there are kids who have issues, and once they move away from their parents, away from that safe area, you can say, then it's more easy for them to move over to that kind of behavior, and it could end up being an issue for them on a long-term basis. I'm trying out a little bit of a different place to sit right now, a little bit higher up in this valley. Never been here. Looks kind of more peaceful and quiet as well, much more enclosed, but you still have a water system going around, and there's a lot of fish actually in the water as well. Don't know what kind, some kind of herbivoric fish. Yeah, so the whole point of what I wanted to say is that there's a clear difference from today and from the time when I was growing up, where a majority of people wanted to get away from home regardless, and they would sometimes try even to get a work after finishing up the base school years, and then support themselves in that way. But in today's society, that's just not possible, to be honest. You don't make money just like that for doing nothing. And I think that is part of the appeal of, for example, kids trying out to make a career into something that is maybe close to their heart, like YouTube, something that doesn't require them to go out there to find a job. Instead, they create the job for themselves in order to support that lifestyle. And many of them, they still live at home, I think. Because they don't make money from the day one. So they still live at home. They tell their parents, I'm going to try and make a career doing this. And then they try it out. And there's a majority of them that fail. That's just the reality of the business, I would say. And it ends up being something where they have these longer years where they are not actively looking for maybe school or education, and that just comes then to a complete loss for them in that race, because they get a late start then trying to resume their studies and to pursue a higher education. So it's just something to be aware of, that this is happening. And I wish people or young adults could be more realistic in their views about what is feasible or not, and maybe stop wasting their time with something that could easily turn out to be a complete time sink, and you're not gonna come so much richer out of that experience, basically. So better to get off your high horse and start to get out there and find something for yourself. Yep, that's my small advice. Now, time for me to continue my little walk. No hurry, no rush. Gonna explore this little valley here. No video for tomorrow, as it's Sunday. Probably gonna take a walk anyway. That's how it is. So until Monday, be safe and stay some distance apart. Social distancing is important. Bye bye.